Well, greetings, hello, and welcome back. It's episode number 11. I'm Imperial Jedi, and a fun one on the docket. Actually, I'm really excited for this one. So the comments, oh my goodness, I'm getting roasted apart here. Our poor city is just like falling to the wayside here. Our river is a mess. The industry is, it's taken over. These poor trees are dying. So let's start going green. Let's start cleaning this up. Let's start making a big impact here. We are still on the warpath to try and get more of a population growth. So let's kind of do like a multifaceted thing here. I want to do a nice big old addition over here. And I want to have a fun kind of transition, like I was saying before, from like offices, residential and industry together. So it's not too loud. Everyone kind of can coexist. But I want the residential neighborhood that's popping in here to be very green focused. And hopefully this can kind of like kickstart the thought process. And I'm going to do just a hint of the infrastructure for it, but you'll kind of see what I have planned here. So we're going to pay some homage to the Green Cities little playthrough we have. And I still have the save file, by the way, guys. I didn't mean for that to kind of just be so like far into the wayside here. Real life time, that kind of stuff, all just, it's hard sometimes, but we're working towards it. We're definitely back into the groove of the videos here. Anyway, so some of you might get a little bit deja vu with what I'm doing. Some of you already might be like, oh no, wait, is he about to? Yes, I am. Yes, I am indeed. So we're going to be making some transit priority lanes. And you're like, well, that's all exciting. Oh, just you wait, you'll see. We're going to have a fun way for the trams to run through a high-density neighborhood, and we're also going to be able to do some cool zoning with it. Can I still go 90? Okay, cool. That went in a little bit crooked, but it's not so bad. Alright, so you can kind of see here, with this style, we are kind of getting a little bit far away from the arterial roads, right? So to help with traffic, let's get the tram running through the middle here, but we're going to encourage people not to cut entirely through, so this will be kind of a fun challenge, right? And let's make this a fun path here, too. Yeah, I think we'll link back up with this, cut across, make this into the central park. This is probably going to move a little bit more over. The tram will basically take this route through here. And when I say like a tram priority route, what I'd like is the cars to still be able to access it, still be able to zone off it, but have the trams as the only thing that can kind of like make their way from one end to the other. And we're going to do that in a very, very, very fun, creative way. Without any mods, of course, right? And so I think we're about to walk into the talking part here. Let's switch this over. But yeah, so buckle up, follow along. It's going to be a little bit crazy. Just the thought process hopefully should make sense, though. So what I'd like is enough distance in between, right, that we can still get some zoning done, put in some pathways and stuff in between. But this is actually based off the city of Toronto, where I live. It started off as a pilot project on King Street, and the idea was, like a lot of vehicles who are just kind of coming through intersections, right, just generically. King Street's a very busy street as well, like high traffic, right? Oopsies. Do that long way. And this is the traffic light, right? So if you want to turn left, generally speaking, you got to wait for the light to change. Get one or two cars through, right? All that does, though, is just backs up the trams, right? So what's the point of the tram, taking the tram to work and stuff like that? If you're just stuck in traffic all day, right? It might even be faster to drive. So what they've done, which started off as a pilot project, is they disabled left-hand turns, and they also said no going straight. So when you enter the block, by the end of the block, you have to turn right, which gives the trams pretty much like total free reign over this, right? And the cops hang out here, so if you're feeling brave, don't do it. But that's kind of the way to do it, right? The time is like ridiculous, right? You can actually see some like GIFs and everything on the internet if you Google this. But the speed at which the trams now move through here, like it is the fast corridor through the city. So we're gonna try and recreate that in City Skylines, which was a fun challenge when we were thinking about this in our Green Cities playthrough. But yeah, the idea is we're going to spread out the roads too, so it's not too bad. But we're just going to make some one-way boxes. And we got some room in here for some detailing, that kind of stuff. Some of the parks, larger buildings. And then we're going to continue the one-way theme just kind of like across the street. And it's okay if it's a little bit boxy. This can kind of be a little bit messy. It's just more like we're trying to figure out the thought process right now. And then so all we're doing is just creating these boxes. And then we're telling cars, actually I want this to be like that. Oh, you know what? If I'm coming in this way, no, you know what? I just realized. Anyway, so what we're doing, right, is we're telling the cars to either have to go straight or turn right. No turning left. And this is a traffic light, so that's fine. And then when we get to this point here, to achieve that, we're going to be turning this into tram only. So cars come in, they have to turn right. There's a traffic light, so they go straight, that's fine. That is totally no problem. So we're still able to access both parts. We've got the road here, so we can zone in. Put that road same spacing over here for some symmetry. That's 400 down. Should be that node there. Not bad, not bad. And then so every other block is basically tram only, and then we'll just rinse and repeat. And then it gets kind of crazy when we're in these parts here, right? But that actually is not too bad. But what if we went in kind of like that? Maybe just to mix up the grid. And then this can be curved inward, just ever so slightly. And that kind of flows, I think, a little bit better overall. And then we can even cut a little bit more of this out. Maybe. And that's just to help curve these two into each other. Yeah, this kind of stuff, you know, like at your leisure, right? That's not so bad. Okay, so we want the way out from that. And then maybe this can kind of curve a little bit along with it, so it's not too much of a grid through here. And then the plan would be to then zone this, but apply some of the different types of district specialization. And I'll show you some different options too. And you know, you can kind of keep a lookout for some of the DLCs, which add a bit more of these. Oh, that's a little bit crooked, eh? That's not too bad. Okay, so that's the way in for that one. That's the way out. We're doing this to there. And yeah, we could absolutely put these a little bit closer together, but then I think the streets would look a little bit chaotic. That one's not the most straight, but that's okay. And I think we want at least a couple more of these to go through. Not all of them have to, which is no problem too. I remember before we were talking about, like, you know, if you're a truck, if you're a larger vehicle, how are you going to make these kind of turns? So if you're putting these kind of junctions in, which is not the end of the world, maybe avoid them if you can. Just make sure you're doing an appropriate alternate option for our truck friends. And I think that's good. And then maybe this can be a one-way going in. And, you know, if you feel like the infrastructure looks a little bit too crowded, looks a little bit too busy, it won't be so bad once we zone it all in and put down some trees. Actually, this is going to be really cool in case you're kind of on the fence right now. Just hang out, you'll see. And for those following at home, like, you know, any subtle variation of this kind of works, right? It doesn't have to be as long as this. Okay, so I think I have room for maybe one more little turnaround. And that one can be the exit. Yep. And that should be that way. Cool. So everyone's being forced. Yep. And let's just connect these up. Cool. And then we'll start zoning. And then if you guys are curious for like the detailing aspect, I'll just go over like a hint of it, and then we'll have like the half episode after if you guys want to see more detailing. And those ones, you know, won't be too long. If that's not your jam, don't feel like you have to show up or anything. I probably won't drop any like crazy knowledge bombs. So if you like, honestly don't, like, I'm not trying to encourage you not to watch an episode, but really if the detailing is like, oh my god, not for me, don't worry one bit. We'll see you in episode 11. Or, I mean, episode 12. It's like, wait a minute. So I'm just checking the title there for a second. Okay, well, that's what I want. That's basically it. We're not going to put the trams in just yet. We're just kind of getting some of the infrastructure down. So when we do our big episode on transit, we've got some of the legwork done. But let's start specializing and zoning. Okay, so I said I'd do a smidge of detailing. Let me just talk about that just for a split second. So we can have basically a park that just goes through the middle right here, right? Make that a little bit wider even. Just so we can snap stuff to it, you know? And the cool thing about the parks is they can overlap districts. That's no problem. And we're going to be using the districts for the specialization, and we're going to be using the parks for the detailing. And so this is how you change the name, by the way, right through here. If you're curious too, this is how to change the name of your city. It's also how to use city policies versus district policies. Anyway, and the names, I'm going to be going through the Patreon, some of our subscribers, like if you're choosing to join the channel, that kind of stuff, right? Pledge and support, I definitely reward that. So I really appreciate those who are doing that. You can also turn down expenses, that kind of stuff through here. But what we're doing is basically trying to add decorations and stuff, and we're going to snap it to the pathways here to help kind of fill in the spots where we aren't able to zone. Okay, so park gate, let's do that really quick. And again, more of like this kind of stuff will be in the follow-up episode. So this can just kind of go anywhere within the boundary of the park itself. Maybe somewhere symmetrical or somewhere it fits. It doesn't fit there because that's the tram only parts. Yeah, there we go. That's a good spot right there. And then this is how the emergency services are going to interact with your park. So without this, the pathway snapping will not exist. All right, so let's just bring our pipes and utilities in. I feel like as the city goes on, we just have more and more and more and more projects that are like only half finished, but like what I really want, right? It's just kind of like this box all filled out. Then we can put in the university campus. Then we can work on the transit hub, and then we can link all the transit together because then we have places to go, right? And I think it'll kind of make sense instead of having to delete lines, replace infrastructure constantly. So just getting towards it. And you know, maybe my process is a little bit bizarro in the beginning, but like once we get kind of over that hurdle, the city becomes like, you know, we're entering like 4th or 5th gear, and we really start moving. We're building bigger things like the highways. We'll be building bigger projects like the university campus over here, mountaintop observatory and research facility, the island airport, you know, bigger high density pockets. It'll be a lot of fun. Okay, so detailing. So these kind of things, right? Now that we're within the park zone and we got the services being able to access it, we can put things down like plazas, you know, benches, pathways, cafes, anything that's part of the city DLC right here, or the park life DLC, sorry. And I'd rather zone on the squares and then maybe pop these guys down where there aren't as many. You know, hillside stuff, you can cover these with the iron fencing, put some trees down as a natural barrier, put some of the rocks, which we haven't really done too much of that yet. And your park is going to be scored based on its use. And so if you want more use, I'd say maybe turn down the fee. Your visitors affect the level, that kind of stuff. So, you know, help land value and that kind of stuff too. So I'd say the maintenance cost is worth it. But yeah, just check back often because you're going to unlock more things to put down. And so by that token, keep things open. And if you're feeling really, really detailed, here's the prop library. So if you feel like you know, you're ready for it and you want like a trash can right there next to a bench, like that's the level you can go to now, which is pretty crazy. And I'm holding right click just to rotate. If you right click like that, it moves it on a 45 or so. And then there does exist, as you can see, a little itty bitty boundary. It's like it's a few pixels wide. You might plop it down and it disappears. If that's the case, remember before we were saying it's still there. So possibly move the park because that's going to count towards your asset count, which will slow down RAM, right? All these trees and everything. Or not slow down RAM, but use up more RAM, of course. And then what would be really lovely is if we wanted to as well, and put down some pathways. Because I don't think we're taking away from the zoning squares over here, right? And then that could be, you know, like a little gate just to make it safer for the people. Make it seem like the pedestrians are really taking over here. And again, there just exists that like perfect little itty bitty spot. Okay, well, let's start doing the zoning. You can kind of have an idea of how we would detail, and we'll do more of that again in our little half episode. So if you want to come back for that, come on in. But let's specialize, right? So we've got this in, which helped us do the park. We're going to continue that park down. And I was saying that it's no problem if you want to overlap these zones. And so let's just snap some of these. Let's talk a little bit about the specialization. So you can right-click if you want to erase. So I'm holding the right-click they snap from node to node 2. Or if you want, there's a eraser button, and that's the left clicker. Same idea. And then to expand the zone you created, just like click back in it and push out. And then if you're like, oh god, just right click, you know? So you don't have to switch tools every time. And then what's cool is you can actually add multiple specializations to your districts. And you can do that a few different ways. The first way is just through the tabs here. You have these generic ones for like farming and stuff. That's for your industry. And you'll want to line those up with your resources. So you can make your own forestry zone by putting down a bunch of trees. And you can see things like oil and ore, right? And the game itself has got some built-in mods. You can actually make that unlimited because you do go through it really quickly. I will talk about all that when we get to it. My one little thing, though, I will say, is if you are playing without unlimited and you do run out of the oil or whatever it is, that's no problem. Just be ready for some extra traffic. What will happen is the vehicles will come from the region and bring the raw resource. So if you still specialize and have like an oil pump over here, oil pump's going to be like, I need oil, man. And so a truck will come from the region, or a cargo train or something, or a boat, and then you'll see that still happen. You got to pay for the import, so it becomes expensive. You're better off trying to find either a new zone or having unlimited oil and ore on. But I don't know, it's up to you, right? I'll get more into that later on. Okay. So where was I? Yes, of course. Now, After Dark brings in a few of these, so tourism, leisure. I'm looking right now for organic and local produce. This is kind of a cool thing. It does two things that are really good in my mind. One, it brings in a lot of modern, fresh, new buildings. And these ones here have got bigger parking lots. So if you want parking lots more or less within your city, without having to make your own in the editor or anything like that, great way to do it. So we can connect these two zones together. Expand that. The thing though, right, is you can only apply one of each type. So I can only apply one commercial specialization at a time. I can only apply one office specialization, one industry. But you can overlap them in general though, right? But I cannot add, say, commercial, like I can't do like organic as well as tourism or leisure, right? But I can switch over to our residential, and I can put on the self-sufficient buildings. And that one's part of the Green Cities DLC. Switch that over. And then you'll see them stack, right? And the other one is the IT cluster, which produces extremely tall office buildings, which looks fantastic in your downtown core. So that's how you can overlap them. Switch them back over this way. So we do want the green, and then just for simplicity's sake, we'll expand a couple of the zones here. But in the interest of getting some more names, I would like to have maybe 2 or 3 zones through here. We're just expanding the district slightly, right? And because we specialize some of the green buildings as well, we should get those in, no problem. And so we can take a look over here. I'm going to pause it before they move out because I haven't brought the electricity in. But very different looking buildings than your regular commercial. And depending on land value and the level, they're going to have more or less features. So the more they level up, the cooler the stuff gets, like solar panels, a green roof, which you can Google. This is amazing, by the way. If you're in a big city, remember I was saying before how like concrete and heat and all that stuff is a problem? And like runoff, like all the oil from your cars and everything, like that just gets run off into the sewers. This helps capture and collect the rainwater, which is great for your tree friends. Having all these trees on top of your building is a natural insulation barrier, so it's cooler in the summer, hotter in the winter. You know, if you're at work, like this is your backyard at work, man. Eat your lunch up here, kick off your shoes, put your feet in the grass. So it's just a better, friendlier way to do it. You're capturing the rainwater, you know, you're lowering the temperature. You know, cities get hot, so you want to just kind of keep a relative eye on that, right? So it's cool, very cool way of going about this. And then bigger parking lots, and then some of them have like electric vehicle parking, which is like super cool. All right, so let's bring some power in, so we're about to lose these poor people here. And also, so many people in the comments are like just, oh boy, patiently, silently banging away at the keyboard. I'm gonna hint more commercial in here. I just don't really want all these power lines in, when I know that we could accomplish the job just by doing some simple zoning. Actually, this will be commercial too. One big old commercial zone. And then so I mentioned another way that you can get some specialization in. And let me just show you a little bit of a difference in that. And this is also a fun way to get another name in. So we've got residential. You already see it starting to pop in. We're going to district this. And then I might actually extend that a little bit further. It's a fun game trying to get these two to talk to each other. There we go. patience for this for sure. And then I don't need that. Okay, cool. So what I'd like to do is click on Cozy Hills. I'm going to change the style now. And these you can buy as little like content add-on packs. So I've got European Suburbia and Modern City Center. That's the German style one. So if I do European Suburbia, we'll now see these homes unzone, hopefully. And then we'll see a more European suburbs type of building come in. Yeah, there we go. So if you want just like a different style in your city, just have these for a few blocks. And then maybe this mixed in with the green could look pretty cool. And we're about to lose these poor people here. Goodness gracious me. All right, skinny street, but because we've got the tram coming through, I'm definitely saying we can do some high density through here. No problem at all. That's kind of the idea of this, right? We don't have to make these super wide road clusters and networks, but we can still have the benefits of, you know, like high flow through by getting the trams. And this spot here, we gotta be cautious. I'm not gonna zone on the back of this because there's no way in. So emergency services, that kind of stuff, people, it would just be a hot mess. So this instead gives us a chance to just throw in some pathways, right? And we'll just have a fun time detailing that a little bit, you know? Okay, so let's see what these green homes look like finally, right? I'm touting them forever. Part of the Green Cities DLC. Put the speed on here. Zone in this part as well. Let's see what we get. And kind of a fun mix of all three will be kind of cool. So I'll put on 3-speed. We'll let these guys fill on in. That should get the power going. And let's see how they spawn. There you go. See, parking lots, right? Electric vehicle parking. Just looks good. You know, the markets are nice and fresh. It's like greener, healthier foods. Little markets. Just for variety. And variety, of course, is the spice of life, right? So the homes, same idea, right? They haven't really leveled up yet. So see how there's no green roof over here? Maybe the commercial value is better. So as these guys get happier, healthier, educated, you'll see better green improvements coming to the houses. That's how they level up. That'll be things like solar panels, the green roof. So that's kind of cool. I like that a lot. Different variety to the homes as well. Trees and everything. Oh man, this is great. Oh god, power! No, wait, what? Oh boy, oh boy. Help, stop, oh boy. Good thing we caught that. I'm gonna pause really quick. Let's just start putting in some services. Now, with the Green Cities DLC, you do get actually some really cool new buildings as well. Different options. So community school, they cost a little bit more, and this is basically an alternative to the public education. It's a simple little one, right? So instead of this guy here, it's just a different option. And it suits the buildings, I'd say, pretty well too. So variety, of course, spice of life. Let's throw in a whole bunch of stuff down here. Just our same old song and dance. It becomes kind of like a fun repeat. I know you might be like, oh, this again, but it kind of makes sense, right? Why would you not have playgrounds next to all your schools? Small ones, large ones, whatever you can fit in, you know? There we go. And the more, you know, more chances for detailing. And the more we do that, the more unique the neighborhoods will feel. All right, are we close with power? Oh, we're so close, okay. Just one more, maybe a clinic or something in here. Let's do the clinic off the busier street. That should now bring, yeah, great, there we go. Don't want to lose our wonderful new friends here. Oh boy, sometimes I swear. So yeah, let's look at some other buildings here. We do get a really fun alternative to the high school as well. I noticed that like as the DLCs continue to progress, well, this could be part of the park maybe. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, as the DLCs progressed, the buildings started getting bigger. And so I say like the overall like, you know, console experience with vanilla, it just got so much better. Like the PC vanilla experience too, right? So the newer DLC, especially Industries DLC, just brought a whole bunch of cool big buildings. That's very nice, very nice. All right, so what else we can do here? Got some parks. That happens to fit nice symmetrically through here. Extend some of this. Okay, so then what are some more green things we can do, right? I think on our green push, what we want to do next is clean the river up. We want to start moving away from, you know, the dirty polluters, right? These are power plants that rely on oil and coal. You know, like that is an expensive, just, you know, dirty process to get out of the ground, right? It does create jobs, so, you know, devil's advocate, right? But we got to move into renewables. You know, so we should have like a wind turbine farm, maybe like dotting along the coast. We should start moving into some of the power producers that are available. So we get a solar updraft, which is pretty cool. Some geothermal. So yeah, we'll start. This is kind of kickstarting the green revolution, as it were, in our city. So clean up the waterfront and start taking back the businesses. And let's take a look right here. So now this road, you know, we got it nice and open. This can be something like bike lanes, right? You don't have to worry about the trams getting in the way now. So just adding to the imprint, right? So bike lanes, you have a tram crossing through here, a little bit of shopping, local neighborhood vibes. And let's take a look here at our buildings, right? The green ones versus the regular. So the condos look pretty nice too. Got the green roof on our new school. We're gonna be able to snap some more stuff into here. There's the European suburbia, and then it's just regular old buildings. Not bad, right? But it's the variety of it all. That's kind of fun. And we have a Tram Priority route through here, which is really cool. So how about them apples, eh? Not a bad little start. And lots of requests to keep this building, by the way. I really would love to. This is gonna, I think, maybe be the boundary, like kind of like the town's edge right here, with the rail. And we can do what we did last time, where we have like some farming and then a small town community when we eventually get more tiles. But that is not a bad start, guys. Big expanse. Hopefully we got some stuff covered in terms of like, you know, how to detail, not detail, what am I saying? District, how to district specialization. How to district. Oh, goodness. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the half episode. If you want to come back for a little bit more detailing, we're just going to fill in some of these areas here, talk a little bit more about the process. And, you know, I wouldn't mind maybe sneaking over here, putting in some backyards and fences. So just some generic detailing. If that's your jam, you want to hang out a little bit more, I would highly encourage that. And if you're just into the, you know, the bigger picture expansion, that kind of stuff, we'll see you next episode too. Or episode 12, whatever that one is, yeah. Anyway, guys, you're wonderful. Really appreciate being here. All the comments too, you're just so kind and wonderful. I'm trying my best to get these out. It's a little challenging. Sometimes I just feel like I need to redo an episode, so it takes time. Anyway, this one I'm happy with, obviously, because you made it this far and you're watching it. And the city is just getting better. So I'm really, really, really excited, guys. And there's just more of these kind of fun ideas, which help make the city feel unique. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Drop me a comment. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying happy and healthy. And we'll see you again. Put a smile on your face, guys. Build, build, build. See you later.